Well guys, welcome back to another video and welcome back to the channel. I'm back over on Vancouver Island for a couple of days with my good friend Adam Gibbs, and we've came to a new location. It's close to midday now because we had to drive somewhere to get here, but we're in an area called Jurassic Grove. Now there's no dinosaurs, but we do believe there's some pretty large trees in this area and it looks promising. I've already came across a massive tree in front of us here and it looks splendid. Now we've got patchy bright sunlight at the moment, but it is overcast today, so the light isn't too bad.
I'm going to hug the tree.
Adam's away to hug the tree. He's being at one with the tree at the moment. So there you have it. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to do this short loop in Jurassic Grove, see if we can come across any more of these fine specimens of trees here. Nice to be back out in the forest and see what we can come up with over the next day and a half, because I have got to return to Vancouver tomorrow evening, but I'm sure we'll find plenty of interesting things to photograph. What do you think, Adam?
Most definitely, my man.
There you have it, there you have it. So get back to you soon when I find my first composition. So we've came a bit further into the forest here just to explore, see what we can find. We've came across another old growth tree. It's got some nice bulbous textures on the side of it, so we're going to stay and see if we can get an image. The only thing is, because we are just leaving winter more or less, the ground's a bit trodden below this tree, so I'm really going to have to work the scene to capture an image. So the image that I'm going to go for, I've already mentioned that the ground isn't too pleasing to the eye. So what I'm basically doing here, I've got nice and low down with the 35mm, and I want to create some interest in that foreground. So the way around that is to include some of this foliage rather than just having a bare bit of ground at the base of the tree there. It just creates a bit more interest. And then you're going to have the structure of the tree coming up behind. We've got some nice bulbous formations on the side of that tree with textures, patterns, some nice colour in there. Now unfortunately there's a fallen branch leading over from the right hand side, but it doesn't distract too much and at least it leads the eye back in towards that tree. Now I'm quite close to the foreground, so I will focus stack this one, but that's going to be the shot. I might have a look round this tree, see if there's any more compositions. If not, we'll move a bit further on and see what else we can come across. But a nice first image in the bag. Just that foreground, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of annoying.
Like you chewing on chewing gum.
No, that's annoying.
I've seen another comp.
Whatever.
So I'll try for that first image. Now, I don't think it was the best image in the world, but it was giving you an idea of how I work around an area like this, especially when the foreground's, it's not very pleasing to the eye, let's say. And including the foliage in the bottom and just introducing that interest was what I wanted to show you. Now I've seen another composition. I want to get in closer. I'm completely discarding the foreground. The interesting part is the bulbous part of this tree. It's lovely coloured.
A bit like your head.
A bit like my head. Put us off now. So it's going to be another example of working around with these ugly, messy foregrounds, but still capturing a half decent image of this amazing tree behind us. There's a larger tree there, a smaller tree off to the right hand side, so it's creating depth at the same time rather than the full focus being on the tree itself. So I think it could be an improvement on my first image. It looks really nice on the back of camera. Nice to get in close and see more of that detail and those colours. So I'm going to get back, get this shot, and I hope you like it. So hope you enjoyed that last image. Now I have seen another image before we head off further into this forest, because we are going to start losing that light soon. Now because we've been photographing that main tree that you can see in front of us there, I forgot to take a look at the tree behind. It looked a bit messy, it wasn't as interesting as the tree we photographed first. But as we've been coming away, we've realised that we can actually incorporate the two in the same image there. There is still details and interest on the side of the one at the right hand side. That's going to be the main one for this image, and then we're just going to have that first tree nestled nicely in the left hand side in the background. But it also might get a bit further back and discard some of this foreground. It's still messy in the foreground here, and I might try a pano shot and see how that works out. And then we're going to have to head on because there's not much longer in the day left. No, it's no good. There's too many pitfalls. You've got to go this way. I'll give him a hand. I'll give him a hand. Come on.
Come on, old boy.
There you go.
I love photography.
So we've came to a place called Lake Cowichan. Now it is the next morning. We had a nice beer last night, something to eat, and just chilled out. Now we were hoping for some fog here this morning, so that's why we chose this location to camp. But unfortunately, it is beautiful, but we haven't got any fog like it was predicted. So we're not quite sure yet what we're going to do today. I think we're going to grab a morning coffee, go with the flow, see if the conditions change here. You never know, in the next half hour as that sun comes up it might change, but if not, we'll head on to another location. Now we've finally found another location to photograph. Now, it's a bit unfortunate this morning at Cowichan Lake that we didn't get any of that fog. We put all that effort in, and drove at least an hour back to make that location in time for the night. But it didn't work out, so we drove a bit further along. We've been on Google trying to search out areas that Adam hasn't been for a while. So came to this location. It's beautiful, Stocking Creek. Now it's a bit of a straight waterfall. There isn't a lot of options here, so me and Adam are going to be concentrating on the same areas. The main falls over my left shoulder there, and we've got some interest behind us, and I'm going to put some video because it is a tight space to get into. And what I'm finding I'm trying to do is I'm trying to fill that left hand side of the image with as much interest as I can. So I've put the 24mm on for this shot, a nice wide shot, so I can get in close to that log at the left hand side. There's a boulder in the centre there. It's just creating some interest. And then you've got the set of the falls behind that stone. I'm going to go for the horizontal shot, and the horizontal shot's going to include the log to the left hand side, the falls in the centre. It's going to discard that sky, and then a bit of the right hand side there. We have got a fallen branch at the right hand side. It's not too interesting, and that's what we're finding with these falls. So I've ventured further out into this river. I'm in the centre of the river now, and I'm trying to work with what I've got. It's a really hard location because of that right hand side. There's so much empty space. So what I'm doing is, I've seen a boulder in the centre of the river protruding out of the water, and I thought, you know what, if I get the 24mm nice wide angle lens and get close to that boulder, I can make it really prominent in the foreground and have that backdrop of the waterfall in the background there. So I've got down, you'll be able to see the camera in the river here, really low and close to that boulder, really exaggerate the size of it. And because I've got close to the water and I'm pointing slightly down using that polarizer, you can actually see through the water and some nice colours of the boulders under the water. It's going to lead your eye over to the rock. You're just going to have the backdrop of the waterfalls in the background. The reason I'm getting low down is I want to reduce that mid-ground. I don't want too much water between that boulder and the background itself. So it reduces that, and you get the flow of the water coming towards the camera. I'm round about 1/8 of a second to a second exposure time. It's keeping some lovely textures in there. I'm just getting some nice streaks in the water as well. Now I'm not sure how many images we're going to get. It's been a tricky weekend and I've got to think about going back to Vancouver. But I'll leave you with this one for the time being, and I hope you enjoy it. So as you'll be able to see, we've moved on. Now we've come down to the coast now. I'm due to catch my ferry in the next couple of hours, and Adam wanted to show us a location before I headed off of all these amazing textures and taffety rocks. It looks wonderful. Now it's pretty windy down here, so being aware of that, because I am using the 135, that longer focal length, so I'm just aware of any camera shake. So always be aware of that when you've got that longer focal length on. But it looks terrific, it really does. I'll show you some of the stuff that we're looking at. Now the first shot that I'm going to go for, it's basically the ceiling of this cave here, and there's no light in there, there's no specular highlights, so it's nice and balanced light. Some nice darks there, there's nice deep holes with those beautiful taffy rock patterns. That's a big snail.
Yeah.
So as it turns out, got them couple of images quickly. Now the tide is coming in, so we're going to have a very short time here. And I think I've just got enough time to grab another image before I move on. I've came to this area here, we've got the back of this rock, and there's a massive shells on the side here. And there's some lovely textures and colours and patterns in there, so that's what I want to capture in this short time that we've got. I'm going to do a pano and probably a 4x3. I'll do 2 aspect ratios. I'm going to have to focus stack this one, probably about 5 or 6 shots, because it does go in rather deep, so that's the reason I'm taking as many shots as I am. It's been a fabulous time. It's been a struggle, but thoroughly enjoyed it. Well, we made it back onto dry land just before that tide came in, but it's been a wonderful couple of days. Short but great on Vancouver Island once again with Mr. Gibbs. It's been a bit of a struggle, you know, we struggled with the light and the conditions, but we came away with some images. We've had a fantastic time. You enjoy yourself?
Yeah, it's alright.
It was alright. Another adventure, and I ticked off a place that I haven't been before, a couple of places actually. Jurassic Grove and then the waterfalls today.
And this?
So finishing, yeah, I've never been here before, so finishing off down on the coast has been an absolute joy. You know how much I love those abstract images. Now for my next video I'm probably going to venture back onto the streets of downtown. I really want to get out with the 135mm and try it out on the streets. But until next time, don't forget, check out Adam's channel. He's got some great images from today, I'm sure he has. But from here on Vancouver Island, thanks once again for watching. Bye bye.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.